A wise, elderly, Red Indian chief sitting in his teepee, and one day a young brave walks in. Wise American chief says, "What do you want, young brave? What is the meaning of your visit?" Young brave says, "Tell me, O wise man, how is a child named in this tribe?" The Indian chief says, "Well, when a child is born, I go for a walk. The first thing I see, that child is named. For example, if I see a crazy horse, that's how Crazy Horse got his name. If I see a running wolf, that is how Running Wolf got his name. Why'd you ask me? Two dogs having a bunk up."
Good evening and welcome to another exciting show. And tonight, our guest is Fred the Plant. Well, it's a long story, but I'll shorten it. Robert was due to come on, but unfortunately he couldn't get time off from work, and everybody's tied up tonight. So I'm afraid you've got me. Oh, and Fred the Plant, of course, who just sits there going. But I think he's been sort of fluoridated. I don't know. I mean, I don't feed him tap water. I give him rainwater, but I think they're probably, God knows what chemicals they're putting in, in the sky. But anyway, good evening, everybody. It's just me, Fred the Plant, and you. So that's good. We might have some people joining us a little bit later on in the show. But everybody's, I don't know what it is about today. It's a very strange day. And I hope my voice lasts out because, as you know, I get hay fever. And I haven't had it too bad the last in recent years, but and also with a lot of rain we've had, it normally keeps the pollen down because the pollen I'm particularly allergic to is tree pollen, I believe, and it's very high at the moment, the tree pollen, so that's why I sound a little bit hoarse and my throat's a bit dry. So here we go. Anyway, tonight's show, first of all, I'd like to thank Ted. Now, Ted wasn't responsible for tonight's show. I had to, for tonight's gag. But he sent me a load of gags through on email, and I can't thank him enough. And thank you very much, Ted. And I'll be reading them out in the next shows. But this one was scheduled for tonight, so I had to do it. So thanks, Ted. Thanks again, mate. I haven't forgotten about them, but they're great, those gags. Thank you. Thank you. And if anybody else has got any gags you want me to crack, I can clean them up a little bit if they're a bit filthy, but and I mean, shall we say I had to edit the last bit of tonight's gag, so I think you can guess. And also I'd like to say thank you for Christine for sending me some details as well. Thank you very, very much. And thank you to everybody else who sends me lots of information to help with the shows. And as I've been saying for many weeks, we're hoping to have a monthly radio show as well. So as well as the Monday slot, there will be an additional once a month radio, shall we say, broadcast, which will last several hours. So it will be a kind of, shall we say, like a radio station which broadcasts, say, 3 or 4 different shows. So they have different people on there, but that will be on Rumble when I can get the bloody thing to work. So there we go. Right, well, on with the show. We've got a lot to cover, and I don't know quite where to start first. As you probably, I suppose everybody's aware of the what's happening in the Middle East at the moment. And well, the first casualty of war is truth, always has been and always will be. And I always feel for the innocent people, regardless of what nationality or religion or whoever they are. An innocent, decent person or families and things like that who doesn't want to harm anybody, who is tied up in conflicts and is more of a peaceful, more of a pacifist type of person. That's who I feel sorry for. And especially the children. who see terrible things when they're young, when they shouldn't see these things, and it affects them for the rest of their lives. But putting that aside for a moment, I mean, I question what we're being shown all the time, because when I first heard about the Iran attack on the country we're not allowed to criticise, what gets me, we're just seeing a one-sided story from the country we're not allowed to criticise all the time. And I want to see both sides of the story. I'm not putting myself into the position of who's right and who's wrong. I just want to see both sides. And when I first saw these pictures of lights in the sky and looks like fireworks, I don't know. But when Israel said, 99% of the incoming stuff has been destroyed, I didn't believe it for one moment. Not one moment. They're not idiots. Iran isn't. They're not idiots at all. And what I have heard, now I'm no military expert, but I think it was Scott Ritter or something like that. And there's a couple of other military experts, well, so-called experts, but people I generally sort of listen to. And they were saying that what happened is, and again, this is secondhand from me, but what they were saying is that these drones take considerable time to get to their targets. And America was fully aware of what was going to happen because they were told by, so they say. I don't know. There's no evidence. I don't know. But what it was is the drones are a kind of misdirection, as I see it, and I could be wrong, for the jet fighters to go after and other things. And then you've got the missiles coming in, but then you've got the subsonic, the really fast missiles, which arrive at their targets within minutes, and you cannot. It's very difficult to stop them. You virtually cannot stop them. And they did hit their targets, and apparently there's quite a bit of damage being done. That's so I've read between the lines. Whether I'm right and whether I'm wrong, I don't know, because, as I say, we're being told a pack of lies. I certainly wouldn't believe the mainstream, whatever they're saying, But let's have a quick look in chat, because I've got something creepy to tell you about what's happening in the Middle East. So just have a pencil and paper nearby, because I think you'll find it very interesting. Now, tonight, wow, we've got a lot in chat. Hey, we've got that's life, but not as we know it. Good evening, inmates. I'm going to be as smutty as I want tonight, can't I? And we say, audio good. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. That's good. Then we've got that's life as not as we know it. Then we've got Ralph Winter. Hello, evening, Eric Von Essex. What about Fred the Plant? He's a bit peed off sitting there, isn't he? He just sits there going, between you and I, he's been having an affair with another plant, because we've got lots of babies on the road. It's like a bleeding population explosion here of spider plants, I tell you. Christ, I don't know what, I mean, they've been at it, must be at it all bleeding day, I don't know. But anyway, we've got Suko. Hello, Sue. We've got Hatchy. Crikey, I wish I was tied up tonight. It's been a while. Been to Screwfix, yeah. I was really fed up. I went to that dating agency, Screwfix, and all I got is this. I went there, and all it is bleeding power tools. It's a crappy dating agency, I'll tell you that. Sorry, that's no joke, isn't it? Yeah. Then we got the bowler hat farmer. Sorry, I can't make it, but I'm keeping an eye out. Oh, that's good. By the way, he doesn't know yet, but he's on next week. We're going to drag him on kicking and screaming. But don't worry, mate, because I did give you a lot of pre-warning about coming on the show tonight. I think it's 20 minutes. Anyway, we've got here. Evening, Chris, Fred the Plant, and all the viewers. Shame Robert couldn't make it, but looking forward to any mystery guests. Yes, so am I. And then we got here. Evening all. Hope all are well. Yes, I think we all are. Hang on, there could be another reason why they're not coming on the show. Could it be that? I've got some new deodorant called Olon. It's by Channel, not Chanel, Channel. Yes, so it could be something to do with that, you know, because I did hear something. If you rub greens, is it greens or is it lemons under your arm? You don't need your own deodorant. Not sure if it's cabbage. Could have been cabbage, or was it lemons? I don't know. Maybe it's cabbage. That's the reason why people are standing back when I talk to them. I read to just get folks. Make both sides watch Tit for Tat by Laurel and Hardy. Problem sorted. Yep, I agree with you. Well, let's face it, all wars are fought by forgotten heroes for lost causes, aren't they? You think about it. You think of all the wars that we've had. Who remembers all the heroes? And what about the lost causes? Have we got here? All in their big fat pan. Iran are CO anyway. So it's all panto for the masses. Yes. Well, I think George Carlin was correct, although I think he worked for the hidden hand, shall we say. But he said people like war. They do. Not all, but I think it's the popcorn eaters. You know, sit down. That's right, you know, but providing they're not involved, you see, that's the thing. Mark Anthony, Eric Von Essex, and hello, evening, Eric Von Essex and everyone in chat. We've got Hatchy, and then we've got limes for armpits. Sounds like a kind of protest, doesn't it? Limes for armpits, you know. Join my protest group. It's limes for armpits. Ah, so it's not cabbage or onions. Hang on a moment. I know what it is. Someone bought, for a joke, some fart spray and it's on the same shelf as the underarm deodorant. That's it. No, actually, I don't wear deodorant because it's got aluminium, or if you're in America, aluminum in it. I actually use pit rock, and what that is, it's very, very good. And I think Miles in his shop, he sells something similar to that, and it's a kind of salt thing. It's natural. You just wet the top of it, go like that under your arm. It doesn't make that noise, but you know it does with me. You know, like that, and it's got nothing nasty. It's perfectly natural, and apparently it stops your armpits from ponging. Well, that's what people say before they fall backwards with going bloody hell, you know. Now you can get aluminium free now. Some brilliant ones about what from all the chemtrails. You just put your armpit underneath like this when it's raining. You know, you get free aluminium. Sorry. Yes, that's right. Yes, you can get aluminium free. But no, this stuff that I got from Miles, you've got pit rock, which doesn't smell of anything, but Miles has got this stuff that smells of nice things like herbs and things. I think, oh, that's a nice smell, isn't it? Oh, yes. And I'll tell you another thing. If you're a tight-fisted git like me, see, I can't wear aftershave because if I go, my face all goes up red like this. So what I do, I get oil of clothes like that, wrap it round over you, and then people say, "Oh, he's got bloody expensive aftershave on." No, I just went to Boots and bought some, just bought some oil of clothes. That's all. I think it's about £2. So there we go. See, top tip of the week, that is. Now it says here, we've got here, actually, nothing worse than being in bed with a woman after a cabbage dinner and ask her if she enjoyed it. Well, whilst we're going to go through the fart jokes, I better start with one before we start the main show. Hang on, Thai deodorant stone. Oh, well, that's interesting. A Thai deodorant stone. Yes. Yes, I wonder. No, I can't say I've heard of that. I'll make some inquiries about that and look it up on the internet. Thanks, Kat. That's very kind. Does it make you smell all nice? Right. Now, you know, last week we had that leaflet that came through the letterbox, which they said that they'd come to my house, and it's a pity I was out, which I wasn't because I saw the bloke post, saw the shadow of the bloke put it through the letterbox. Now, there was this leaflet in there, you see, and I've been thinking up some captions for it, you see, because this caused quite a bit of a stir, because people said, what bloody hell, you know. So look at the indignant look of that woman. Yeah, we called to see you today and hear your views. No, they didn't. They just posted the bloody thing through the letterbox. That's all. Like they did sort of eight or so years ago. Anyway, the woman at the back, I think I know what she's saying to the woman at the front. The woman at the back saying, "Excuse me, have you farted?" And the woman at the front says, "Of course I have. Do you think I normally smell like this?" Such a terrible one, isn't it? Hello, we've got Deb in chat. Hello, Deb in chat. Hello, all. Just a quick pop in to see how you all are. Hope you're all well. I hope you're well as well. And I hope that the rain is turning to sunshine. Well, let's face it, we've had liquid sunshine because rain is sunshine in liquid form, isn't it? And we've got here, and avoid pit rock. Still makes you stink of BO. Well, I like the smell of BO because it keeps people away. I mean, when you go to Savers, you know, it's shop assistants. By the way, for those of you overseas, Savers is a sort of, what would you call it? It's not really a chemist. It's a sort of sells washing powder and home stuff, toothpaste and stuff like that, you see. And whenever you go to the counter, I think the women get commission for it. They say, "Excuse me, would you like any aftershaves or anything like that?" And I usually say, "Well, I don't smell that bad, do I?" I didn't know that about pit rock. It still makes you stink of beer. That's why there's no one on the show tonight, because I'm wearing pit rock. That's the answer. That's it. Because I thought that was funny. They're going like this. Now we got here Deborah AKB. That's it. We're missing your shows. We're missing your, and weather has been shocking today. Wind, snow, rain, and hail. You name it. Yeah, we've had it down here. I wouldn't say we've had snow, but we've had a bit of hail this morning. Oh, you know, and yeah, it's been bloody cold as well. And I don't do cold. You know, it should be nice and warm. Anyway, on with the show. We've had the fart gag. We got that out of the way, and now something. Get your pencils and paper ready. Okay. Now, World War One started on the 28th of July, 1914. Now, if you add 28, 7, 19, 14, it equals 68. So, are you paying attention, boys and girls? Right, written that down. So it's 28, 7, 19, 14. So it's 28, the 7th of 1914. Right. World War II began the 1st of September, which is the 9th month, 1939. 1 plus 9 plus 19 plus 39 equals 68. The Ukraine conflict, although it's been going on for years, it was going on in 2015. Shall we say, the main sort of expanded on when Russia came into it big time. Expanded on it on the 24th of the 2nd, 2022. Add 24 to 2 to 20, 22 equals 68. 68, so the date of World War One adds up to 68. The date of World War Two adds up to 68. The date of the Ukrainian, when Russia entered in big time, and I don't blame Russia, I don't take sides, but I don't blame Russia because we've got anti-Russia press, but anyway, we'll go into that. Is 68. 68, 68, 68. Now, this Saturday happens to be the 20th. And it happens to be the Jewish Sabbath on Saturday. And the 20th, the 4th, 20, 24, add those numbers together, and it comes to 68. Creepy, eh? So let's see what happens this Saturday. Probably nothing, but you never know. So I'll just go over that again. World War One, the dates, 28th of the 7th, 1914 adds up to 68. World War Two, 1st of the 9th, 1939, 68. Ukraine, 24th of the 2nd, 2022, 68. And this Saturday adds up to 68. So a little bit of numerology there, which is rather interesting. It might just be a coincidence, I don't know, but it's something worth sort of thinking about, isn't it? Now, what's this we got here? Hereditary Sketchbook is tell me about it. Constructing a man cave in Burley. Okay. Yes, maybe. I don't know. Now, another weird thing, putting a jigsaw together. Now, we're going to talk about, now, I couldn't put it on this show because of copyright, but there was a television play put on in 1968 starring Donald Pleasance, and it was called The Newsbenders. Now, I won't spoil it for you. It's for half an hour. That's all it's on for. If you go onto YouTube and tap in The Newsbenders, you'll find it with ease. And it's on YouTube, and it was years ahead of its time. Because what it was actually saying, and I won't spoil the play, but it's a really good play. And every time I see it, I see more in it. And Donald Pleasance was a very underrated actor. He was a very good actor. And there's another famous actor in it. I can't remember his name. And they both acted their parts really well. And a strange thing is that it's about a chap that goes for a job and he's blackmailed into this job. And it's a department that makes up the news. That's all I'll say about it. I won't spoil it. And it is dated, yes. It was, as I say, it was broadcast in 1968. But there's an element of truth in it, I believe. Because who decides what is the news? Seriously, who decides what is news? I mean, there's loads of things going on throughout the world, but someone or something somewhere must decide what is news. And what I can't stand, and I've noticed this, it started in about the 1980s, these what I call hairy arse reporters who think they are absolutely, they're pushing an agenda. And I think they're agenda reporters. And I know that BBC ones, when I last heard of television, were the worst. And well, ITV's not that much better. I think they're the pits as well. Because when they're actually interviewing people, they are actually pushing an agenda. And it's very subtle. And it's very clever the way they do it. And their attitude is that everybody's on my side and I'm ganging up against the person that I'm interviewing and trying to pigeonhole them. Now, there was a politician in the Netherlands. Now, excuse me, I can't speak Dutch. So if there's any Dutch people here saying, what's it? Was it? I can't even touch it. How do you take off a, no, that sounds Swedish, doesn't it? How do you take off a Dutchman? It's a sort of a bit, it's a bit South African, but it's not quite flat, is it? It's sort of, no, I can't do Dutch. No, afraid not, double Dutch. But there's a chap called Pim, P-I-M, Fortune, which is F-O-R-T-U-Y-N. Fortune? Pim Fortune? Pim Fortune? Is that Dutch? No. Anyway, he was gunned down in 2002. And he was very well liked. He was not quite a politician, but I believe I mean, I don't know much about him, but the more I see about this fella, he seemed bloody good, and he's getting closer and closer to the truth. And he got gunned down. Now, that was the end of his party that he started. But he was interviewed by I won't say his name because he's still alive, and he's probably got better lawyers than I could ever afford. But he was interviewed by an English interviewer, shall we say, who was always trying to pigeonhole him. Oh, so you're a racist, or oh, you're this, you're that, and he wouldn't let the poor sod finish a sentence. And he was attacking him all the time, and that is the style of it's not reportage, because to me, a good journalist, I mean, I'm not a journalist, I've never been trained in journalism, but the way I see it is that they let the person speak and then ask proper questions. Don't wind the person up, because you get the best out of them, and let the viewers decide for themselves whether the bloke's talking a load of bullshit or whether he's honest or not. And I think there's techniques that they can use that will really, you don't have to be aggressive. People will see, or people can see through bullshit, will be able to see it. And this Pin Fortune, for the better want of a better word, said he had this hairy ass reporter in his garden. And he had a bloke come along and give him, and he gave tea and cakes and all that. He was very polite. And all the time, this reporter would not let him finish a sentence. And he said, look, I've had enough of this. I'm going to shake your hand and say, could you please leave? He did the best thing, because, and I think it was a matter of weeks or months later, poor sod was gunned down in the street. Now, I think that a lot of this happens to a lot of these people. They get a bit close to the truth. They're sort of done away with. They're sort of sidelines, Anyway, now the Bull Rat Farmer says, coincidence, my arse. Yes, this Saturday is going to be very interesting because it adds up to 68. Very interesting. See, the thing is, we go into sets of numbers, as I've probably said 1,000 times before. My father was very much into numerology, and he predicted D-Day, which was known as the Second Front, about 18 months, 2 years before it actually happened. And he got the date and the time spot right on. And he stopped doing it for a while because he was very, very good at it. And he said to a chap, I'm afraid tomorrow is going to be quite an eventful day for you. You've got quite an event coming up. So, that's interesting. And there was a bombing raid. This was whilst he was in Malta. He's in British forces in Malta during the siege. And one person got killed. It's that bloke. And he gave it up. And he said, I'm not actually predicting people's deaths. He said, especially during the war. And it really upset him. It really did. Because, and he didn't do it. And then later on in the war, his friends just said, look, come on, and persuaded him to carry on looking at numerology. But numerology, I mean, Barnes Wallace, the bloke who devised the bouncing bomb, he swore by it. He might have sworn at it. And he was really into numerology. My uncle, because of what happened with his, because my dad sort of was really into it, he was so into it that when he bought a car, he had to make sure that the engine number, the chassis number, all added up to his number. He bought an older car because the number plate was correct in numerology terms for him. And when he went to buy the car, he lifted it up. He's making it, way, the light's gone off. Is it going to come back again? Yeah, and we're back again. It's early this week, isn't it? Anyway, don't know why it does it. Anybody knows? Answers, please, on a postcard or an email. I don't know why it does it. Anyway, every week the light goes off. Don't know why. Anyway, on with the story. So he went to a car showroom and he saved out all his money to buy a new car. And he lifted up the bonnet of the car and he starts taking down a number. And the salesman said, sorry, what are you doing that? He said, so he said, well, he said, you don't have to check, sir. It's a legit car. I said, no. And he told the salesman about the numerology. And the salesman looked at him as if he was a bit bonkers, and my uncle looked back as if he wasn't. But no, he looked into all the numerology. It is a fascinating thing. So let's see. By this time next week, we'll know, won't we? So, and I know that Bowler Hat Farmer will be on. So we'll know if something happens this Saturday, and that will be the 20th. But also surrounding the news benders, as I call it, is that every war starts with an outrage. Everyone. There's no ifs and buts about that. I don't trust the country that we are not allowed to criticise because they have got one of the most advanced propaganda machines in the world. That's how they survive, through propaganda and lies, I believe. And I don't believe that what happened in earlier when they invaded the Gaza Strip. Um, I just do not believe that what happened that triggered it off, because you notice that most war triggers are put up events. They're primed that way. Look at the Lusitania, for example. All these different things, in the First World War, it was sunk to get America into the First World War. There's loads of things like that. And when you see how these false, another one is the Bad Tonkin incident. That triggered the Vietnam. Well, it didn't trigger the Vietnam War. The war was going on, but it was originally known as French Indochina, and the French moved out big time, and America needed to get involved in Vietnam to stop the communists, the North, invading the South, and American public weren't interested because it was halfway around the world and they couldn't give a damn. So they needed an outrage, and the outrage was the Bad Tonkin incident, when an innocent ship was supposed to have been fired upon by these naughty North Vietnamese, and they showed you the stretchers coming off the ships, and and people sobbing, and all the propaganda, usual stuff. And if you look up Encyclopedia, I think it's Encyclopedia Britannica, it actually says in there now it probably didn't happen. It was just a put up job. But it did what it was designed to do. It got people outraged. We've got to fight those commies, and the next thing there's Vietnam. And I've got a feeling that our current Prime Minister, or monster, whatever way you want to call it, I think he's going to do a Thatcher, because Margaret Thatcher in the early 80s was, well, she's always been very unpopular, but she's extremely unpopular. And the Falklands War, she gained popularity because of that war. Because, again, is what George Carlin said, people like war. I'm sorry to say that. It's sick to say it, but they do seem to. But there's an interesting one here. Now, Salloway has said the Admiral of, oh yes, that's the Tonkin incident that triggered the American involvement in the Vietnam War, shall we say. The Admiral of which was Jim Morrison's father. Spot on. Yes, a lot of the, shall we say, the groups of the psychedelic era, they had fathers that were in very high places in the American military. And I believe the hippie movement was a CIA development and not what we've actually been told to, what we're led to believe. Now, the other thing I was going to say is when you look at the Vietnam War, again, another war that was fought by forgotten heroes for lost causes, Britain almost won that war after 1945. And it's a very interesting story because it was known as French Indochina and wasn't known as Vietnam then. And the Japanese were fighting there and they surrendered. And Britain had very few men to send to Vietnam because Ho Chi Minh, who was in the north, the communists, wanted to take over the south. And what they did is the only armed, trained soldiers that there were in Vietnam, in French Indochina, were the Japanese who had surrendered in 1945. And they're in POW camps. So what they did, they handed the weapons back to the Japanese, and under British command, they fought Ho Chi Minh, and they were beating the communists because the British had and the Japanese had a lot of experience of jungle warfare, and apparently it worked very well under British command. They really got on well, former enemies. Japanese really fought like lions. And what happened, the politics became involved because they wanted to hand in French Indochina back to the French, and Britain was to withdraw. And it is believed that if they'd have carried on fighting for another 3 months, the Vietnam War that was to happen, was it 15, 20 years later, would never have happened because we would have beaten the communists as we did in Malaya. And they were using the same techniques. And hang on, I think Robert's just sent me a message. He said, Monday the 29th is go. Excellent. So he will be on Monday the 29th. That's good. That'd be Robert. Now, what I was going to say is that the British were withdrawn and the French took over, the French Foreign Legion, and they were not trained in jungle warfare. And what happened is they were beaten by Ho Chi Minh's lot. And in 1950, I think it's 59, they even dug up graves and they literally left Vietnam and left the South Vietnamese to fight the North on their own. And of course, in 1964, America got involved thanks to the Bay of Tonkin incident. So that's a little bit of potted history on the Vietnam War. And that's off the top of my head. Sorry, I haven't made any notes or anything like that. So please look it up on the internet. I'm sure you'll find it's all true, what I said. Now it says here, time to buy a tuk-tuk. Oh, what? A tuk-tuk? You do get your F's and T's muddled up, don't you, Hatchy? Sorry, that's a terrible joke, that is. By the way, do you read a gag about the bloke who goes for a dirty weekend in Bangkok? So, yeah, I might as well crack it. Yeah, it's going to be an intro gag for a future week. But thanks for Ted sending a lot of gags in. This gag will be several months in advance. You'd have forgotten it by then. Bloke goes for a dirty weekend in Bangkok, you see, and the hotel he's staying in, the porter, who's Chinese, doesn't understand English very well, you see, and he says he's looking for a house of ill repute, shall we say, and he's asked the porter where he could go. So he said, I know just place. You want nice woman? Yeah. You got the road, you turn left, then you turn right, then you go up that lane and you go down some steps. You then go a left and then another right, and then you turn left again, you go up a hill and then down again. Anyway, this bloke is completely utterly bloody lost. And he's wandering around and he thinks he's got the right place because there's all this Chinese writing, all in pretty red lights, you see. So he thinks, that must be a knock-in shop, you see. So he goes in there and it's actually a chiropodist's, but he doesn't realise that, you see. So he goes in and there's a pretty, Taiwanese lady there. And she goes, oh, hello. So he says, call this way, please. So he goes into his little booth. So the fella decides to and he thinks he's in a knock-in shop, gets into I'll be very polite, there maybe people of a sensitive nature watching this show. He drops his trousers and, shall we say, gets into the spirit of events. I think we should say that. And suddenly this Taiwanese girl comes in and goes, screams. She says, that's not a foot. He said, well, it's bloody near 12 inches. Sorry. Terrible gag, isn't it? Right. Now, Salaway says Cambodia and South Vietnam is littered with French architecture. Yes. Art Nouveau as well. Yes, a lot of French architecture. There's a lot of Vietnamese that could only speak French, wasn't it, as well as their own language? Because now, camera. Hello, camera. Hello, everyone. Oops, late again. No lines, please. Oh, I think you need detention. Hope everyone is well. Louise Wilcox here. For those who don't know. Ah, hello, Louise. Nice to see you. To see you nice. You're up in Krista Gardner land, aren't you? Poor sod. You know he's working till about 8 o'clock tonight. Maybe later. Now that is dedication, isn't it? I mean, that dedication to your work. And now I've got here. That's a cat. Says hello, Louise. Here we are. Now, what we got here? Salaway, talk, eh? Tick tock, tick tock. May I politely ask Hatchy and Salaway, what the heck are you talking about? Right, here we go. Next she said, evening folks, I'm a bit late. Oh, blimey, you and all. Note from parents, please. I leave it with Miles and he'll look over it and he'll decide whether to give you detention or not. Is that okay? You know. By the way, talking about Miles, okay. I had a bit of trouble with my knee. Now it flares up occasionally. About 14 years ago, I got this kind of rawness on my knee. So when you get down on your knees, you know, to beg for anything or no dirty jokes, please. You sort of go, because it hits a funny sort of nerve on your knee, you see. And I had it really bad. I don't know whether I did it on my push bike or whether I don't know where I got it, you know. But it does flare up occasionally. And the last time I had this was about 14 years ago, you see, and it sort of went away on its own. So I went to see Miles. I went to see him about the future shows. And I just happened to mention, I said, look, Miles, I've got this bloody knee that's, God, it's giving me jip. It is. It's all right. I mean, I could walk along, wouldn't feel a thing. I'd be sitting down, wouldn't feel anything. But if you sort of touched it in a sort of, in a certain way, you know, it's bloody painful, you know. So I went, yes. So he said, yes, he said, might be a bit of arthritis. Yeah. So anyway, he said, hang on a minute. So he went outside, came back, went, put a couple of needles in my ear hole. So I was sitting there, we're chatting away, having a talking about future programs and things like that. You know, time's getting on. I forget about these pins in my ear holes. And so does he. So anyway, I am actually just leaving, just shaking hands with him. He said, hang on a minute. He's just about to close his door because we leave late from his shop. I went, hang on, I've got to take the needles out. I took the needles out. I said, has it made any difference? And, no, not really. So anyway, I wasn't hobbling. I think I could walk all right. It's just if I knelt down or anything like that, you get a bit of a, you know. So anyway, it was still a bit raw, you know. I'd get in the car and as I drove away, ow, you know. And it might have been the clutch pedal. My car hasn't got, the smart car hasn't got a clutch pedal, but it might have been the brake pedal or something. I don't know. Anyway, next morning, I got up, it had completely gone. His acupuncture had done the trick. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. It actually done it. I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, so you know, it does work. Well, it worked on me. Now we've got here. We're both going to get lines. Hope you are well. Now, Aunt Sally says, I saw Miles today for a consultation. Yes, it's consultation day today. I'm not allowed all the food I like. Sugar, bread and dairy. Well, right, I can help you out on that one. Because sugar, I haven't, no, I can't, it's downstairs. I buy organic coconut sugar. And I get a bag of it. It's quite a fair sized bag. It's £4 in the supermarket, the place where every little helps. And I don't want to advertise those bastards anyway. But anyway, and it's organic and it's coconut sugar and it's not cane sugar. and it's lovely and sweet. You put it in teas and coffees. I make banana bread and put some of that in, and I actually sprinkled it on my salads. That's how tasty it is, and it lasts ages. Xylitol is all right, but it's like anything. If you're cooking, it's best to add the xylitol afterwards, not during. And it's like, but with the other stuff, the coconut, it does do very, very well. I cut out bread and I lost weight over a lot. I lost weight with it because bread makes you put on weight. But what next time if I see you in Miles' place, you can actually make. I make oatmeal wraps. I do it myself, and just right. You know, I wrap things. You know, if I have something to eat, I actually make these wraps. And wraps are not as bad as full-blown bread, I found. So, you know, you don't put on weight. And as for dairy, I did sort of say, put some black marks against that Flora butter, which is plant-based. I'll be straight with you. I looked into it a bit more, and I was wrong. Yes, I totally wrong, because I said, oh, I think it's got chemicals in it. And what happened, I put it out for the dicky birds. I had some in the fridge. I didn't use it. And I mixed it up with some wild bird seed. And when birds around my way, they're very wild because I use cheap bird seed, not expensive stuff. And I think they're bleeding living over it. But anyway, I mixed it up, put it in a cup, and I hung the cup up. Hang on, I'll see if I've got pictures of it. Let's have a look. Yeah. Let's have a look. Slides. Here it is. There it is. And I hung these up, and the little birds went up to it and wouldn't touch it. I had Bob Robins, blue tits. Well, they were blue tits, but it's so bleeding cold, that's why. And so anyway, they went up to it, and that's my fence at the back. And it was there for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and suddenly the crows got a taste for it. They ate the bleeding lot. That's going up there all the time. They couldn't leave it alone. So, you know, the small birds didn't like it, but the big birds did. So I don't know. But as I say, that is this Flora butter. I've looked at. There's no doesn't appear to be anything nasty in it. Doesn't appear to be any synthetic stuff in it. So I think it's okay. I really do. I think it's fine. You know. Now this poor old Eric Von Essex, poor old Chris. The days are getting longer, so his work hours will be too. I took TUC, tuck, Chris, a little moped that carries a passenger in a carriage like a bit. Yes. Oh, a tuck. I know the ones that you get in these Far East. They're made from Piaggio apes, I think. They're called ape vans, aren't they? And Piaggio sold them in Far East for next to nothing. Yes, tuk-tuks. Yes, they tried to import them into this country. They didn't really take off. They had a few in London. That was a bit it, really. But yeah, I feel sorry for Chris the gardener. I mean, as the days get lighter, he's got to work longer. That's why he couldn't come on tonight. Now we got here Rishi Sunak. Scooby, wash your mouth up. Oh, I've just mentioned his name. Rides one on the takeaway deliveries on the weekends. Tut. Rishi Sunak, yeah. There's a fantastic cartoon of Joe Biden meeting him and saying, I want a table for four and go easy on the chapatis. Now, surely coconut sugar is sugar. No. It doesn't rot your teeth, number one. It doesn't rot your teeth. Because did you know that white sugar now, they put chemicals in with it where they never used to. So the white sugar now isn't like it used to be. So when we were kids, the white sugar was very different. And that's why, one of the reasons, apart from it rotting your teeth, it's very bad for you. That's so I've heard. If anybody knows anything different, please tell me. But no, coconut sugar, I think it's got the same amount of calories as white sugar, but it isn't sugar, unless someone can prove me wrong. So if anybody in chat can prove me wrong, there's your chance. But no, that's what it. Oh, hang on, we got for Tesco's, Bolrat Pharmacist. Every little bit hurts. That's right. Yes, it does. Forgive me, dear bowler head farmer, because I have sinned. Will you forgive me because I went to Tesco's today? Yes, I did actually. Yes, I went there to buy my broccoli because it's the only bleeding place around that can buy the broccoli. It's a bit expensive to drive all the way to Suffolk and buy your broccoli. I bought my broccoli, but no. I've noticed a lot of empty shelves in Tesco's now. A lot. I couldn't believe it today. I went to get me bananas as well because I'm a bit of a banana holic. I do like bananas. And now we've got here Aunt Sally, replace sugar with honey. Natural sweetener, yes. But make sure it's not one of the honeys off the shelf because they're sent through pipes and this, that, and the other, and Christ knows what. You want a pure natural honey that's done by local buzzy bees, local bees, and that's something I've often fancied being as a beekeeper. Yes, I like bees. Oh, by the way, very sad. One got into my greenhouse and died. I was very upset. Lovely big bumblebee, and I feel so sad because I don't like killing anything. I mean, people put, like for example, with ants, they put ant powder down. I don't. I prefer to persuade them to go someplace else. So I use the sort of wet liberal effect, and what that is, ants can't stand peppermint. They detest it. So all I do, I buy some peppermint tea bags, let them soak in some water for a while, and then water the plant with peppermint water. And the ants are scarper like anything. It doesn't kill them. They just turn the bloody smell of it. So, just imagine the ants saying, "Poor bloody hell, George, you farted. So is it me? What's that horrible stink?" They're off. And I found that, I had field mice in my shed. And someone said, "Oh, you put a mouse trap in there." No. Put, again, peppermint tea bags in there. They hate the smell of peppermint. They just went somewhere else. My neighbour's shed. But seriously, it does work. And deterrents do work. Well, and the best one I've heard is what Chris the gardener told me, what his grandfather told him. And that is, where I live, it's the Lee Valley, and it's a slugs knocking shot. There's more slugs and snails in my garden. If I was a snail and slug farmer, I'd make a fortune overnight. And I don't like killing. Putting salt water. No, I don't like doing that. But to keep slugs off of your potatoes and other plants, put straw around them. And they hate straw. There's something about straw they don't like. Again, it's a deterrent. You don't kill them. They just don't. I don't like it if I accidentally tread on a snail shell. I just don't like it. Sometimes you actually accidentally do. I just don't like killing, really. It's just me, I suppose. But I think I'd kill if I had to kill. Yeah, but to survive, I think most people wouldn't like it. Sail away. Here we are. See, I said someone in chat would come up with something. 5 forms of sugar. I'm guessing coconut is a form of fructose, Aunt Sally. Yes, because bananas are fructose. Fruit sugar is fructose. I think it is actually. But I tell you something, it's bloody nice. It really is. Doesn't give you acidity, because I think that white sugar gives me acidity. I used to have 2 or 3 spoonfuls in my tea when I was very, very young. When I was a teenager, I gave up sugar. And now someone puts sugar accidentally in my tea, I almost throw up. Oh, Now we've got here. I already replaced sugar with honey, and Miles said honey is sugar, so it's no more. Also, maple syrup is out. Yeah. Actually, Miles does sell xylitol, and I think you'll get on well because that's a fructose as well. That's quite sweet, and xylitol is pretty good. But don't try sorbitol. I think Miles will tell you this. It's actually used as a what's another word? Not contraceptive. Stop people having children. I can't think we call it. There's a word for it. I can't think. Anyway, it stops children having birth control sort of thing in South America. Sorbitol is actually used for birth control amongst the tribes, and they're shoving it as a sweetener in beans and all kinds of things. Don't touch sorbitol. It's awful stuff, apparently. Now it says here. Now, then we got here. Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco all have lots of empty shelves. Supply chain chaos, all by design. Yes, it's this bloody just-in-time idea. And just-in-time is useless. It's a rubbish idea. It really is, because something goes wrong in the chain, then you end up with nothing. I mean, for example, in the days of British Rail, when they had steam trains, a bit before my time, but I was told this by older people. I think Granddad, someone told me that they always had a standby crew and a standby engine. So the train always ran. Whatever happened, there was never any cancellations. The train ran. And through ice, snow, and because they're big enough to plough through the snow and ice. And they'd have standbys that actually have backup. And that's my theory in life. Always have backup. Whatever you do in life, have a backup. And I always work by that as well. I haven't gone far wrong by having a backup something, Like I've got a backup computer. So if things go tits up, then I've got a backup, hopefully. And but I'm a bit of a weirdo, a bit of a computer fanatic, Now we've got Louise Wilcox, we're okay. I can't remember the last time I saw a coconut for sale. Yeah, I haven't seen a coconut for sale for years. I saw some pineapples for sale today. Had some of them. Hit the thumbs up, troops. Thanks, mate. That's life as we know it. Thank you very much. That's very kind. If you could kindly hit the thumbs up, I'd be most grateful. Thank you very much. Now we've got here, Cameron says, glad to hear it. Bless you both. I can't remember seeing a coconut in shops since I was a kid. Same here. Used to go to the fairgrounds, get coconuts, used to win them, if you sort of, but yeah, so that's an interesting thing. You don't get a show. I haven't seen coconuts for ages. There used to be full of them. I used to like tapping a hole in a shell, drinking the old, and getting the coconut, what do you call it? The pieces of coconut, very nice. Now, sucrose, fructose, this is sail away. Fruit, dextrose. I do hope, sail away, you've got the white coat on, please, and the clipboard to take the part, Sucrose, fructose, fruit, dextrose, vegetable, lactose, dairy, and a meat derivative that I can't remember the name of. The former is a complex sugar. The rest is simple sugars. That's interesting. Yes. But I know that lactose, some people are lactose intolerant. I actually suffer from, I'm asking Miles whether he can cure me this. I suffer from inland revenue intolerance. If I see anything about the taxation system, I tend to get into a kind of rage. It's strange, I was like, yes, it's inland revenue intolerance. Yes, I think many people have got that. Everything is getting bleached these days, from flour to sugar, and a politician's bottom. God help us. I tell you, it's going to be election time soon. You don't get hairy half politicians knocking around your door, do you, anymore? I mean, the last election, there wasn't any. You know, it's Krista Gardner. Hello, mate. I bet you're a bit cream crackered now. Hello, Eric. Hello, chat. I'm late to class, but I've got a forged note from my mum. Oh, yeah, I think it's a good forgery, yeah, but that'll be accepted, yeah, why not? Now, we've got here, I use coconut water in smoothies and coconut oil for skin. Oh, yes, are you sure it's, yes, it is nice, isn't it, coconut water? And you know, it's very good for your teeth, apparently. Yes, I mean, the coconut water around where I live, I think the local council's passed it. Right, now, this is, now, Crystal Garnet, good news. I hope you and Jess are both doing well. Yes. And we're hoping to have, you see, what I'm planning to do, keep it between yourselves, is once a month do a radio show. When I say radio show, it'll be like a radio station. So you will have about 4 shows that will go out, not all at once, but it'll go out on Rumble. So we can be a bit loose-tongued on there. But there's one slight technical problem. I'm trying to work out how to use this bleeding OBS software. Motor all balls up all week, you know. I was trying to work it the other day, and I thought, how the heck do you work this? And for some unknown reason, I accidentally got something on YouTube when it should have been Rumble. I don't know how I got that way, but anyway, I'm sussing it out. I'll get there in the end. You know, a bit of head scratching, I'll still get it done. And yeah, and what I hope to do is once a month just do a radio show or I say show. It's to say it'll be 3 or 4 programs, recorded programs, and it'll go out. This is the plan, but the chat room will be live as it goes out. So the people that I'd interviewed will also be in the chat room. So if Miles does a show on something, I don't know, sort of healthy eating or whatever, he'll be in the chat room, you know, and I'll drag him to the chat room, kicking and screaming, see, so he's there. Right, fairground for coconuts. Do you remember that group in the 1980s, Kid Creole and the Coconuts? You know, he had these sort of low crotch trousers, didn't he? You know, I liked his coconuts. The girls behind him, yeah, they were the coconuts, weren't they? And yeah, what happened to him? Kid Creole and the Coconuts. He's pretty good, he was, wasn't he? Yes, there we go. He was quite talented. I actually saw an outtake of Kid Creole and the Coconuts, and the girls who used to dance behind him. Bloody hell, they were clever. And somebody took a film of the rehearsals, and they were absolutely spot on in line. I mean, I am the world's worst dancer. In fact, I come from a great line of non-dancers. My grandfather believed that the world, he reckoned that the country went downhill because of dance halls. He was a very famous non-dancer. My father was a non-dancer. In fact, I only saw him once dancing with my mother. It was a very painful watching it. It was in when was it now? And he had that sort of bored look on his face. And my mother had to dance with her brothers. He just wouldn't dance. I'm virtually the same. But because I can't dance. And a girl once described dancing with me as like dancing with a Panzer tank with a dodgy gearbox, or a supermarket trolley, because I'm sort of going in all different directions. And she dragged me along to dancing classes. I've probably told you about this before. And she had all trophies and that of dancing. And my dad was very worried. I was very young at the time. I was in my sort of early 20s, and he took me to one side. He said, "Son, you're going to dancing, are you okay? You know, I mean, a bit worried about you. You know, is this something you need to tell me? I said, no. You know. Anyway, I got dragged along to these dancing classes, and I thought, well, I've got to show some interest, even though excuse my language, I was bored shitless, and it was a disaster, absolute disaster, because they played some tunes. Um, I can't. I said to her once, I said, excuse me, I said, she said, I said, what's the name of this? I like this record. What's the name of it? And she Get Off My Bloody Foot. And I've never heard a record called Get Off My Bloody Foot. Have you? But and then there was another record they played, which was quite nice. And I said to her friend, you know, what's this record? She said, get off my bloody foot. So I never heard of Get Off My Bloody Foot either. So, you know, God knows what. But no, it was. I suffer from out of sync. So dum 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 dum, and I'm sort of slightly behind or slightly ahead. You know, no sense of direction whatsoever. I think it's because of I suffer from one problem: bored shitless. Also, very self-conscious as well, because you know I think you've got to be a bit, you know, a bit extrovert, a bit showy to want to dance, whereas I'm not. I prefer to go and hide somewhere. And oh, it really was a disaster because she said, dress casually. Well, dress casually is jeans and t-shirt to me. So think about it now. I can't stop laughing. We went to this dance class, and of course her friend, they got all the bleeding frocks on, and you know, and there's a friend of hers that spoke with a lisp, as if back like this. I've got nothing against people with lisp, but she couldn't pronounce my name, and I can't stand my name in full, Christopher, because if somebody calls me Christopher, I, my mother used to call me that when I did something wrong. I'd always say, what have I done wrong? It's Chris, not Christopher. And she did a running commentary of all the balls ups I was making on the dance floor. Oh, Christopher is going the wrong way. Oh, Christopher is doing this. Christopher. I thought, shut up, shut up. You know, and I was sort of putting on this full smile. Are you enjoying it? Yes. No, really not. And, you know, trying to give the occasional glance at my watch, thinking, how much more have I got to put up with this shit? I mean, to me, you know, dancing, I don't mind watching river dance. Fantastic. You know, I sit watching those ladies with the short skirts. Very nice. But it tends to spoil it for me when Michael Flatulence comes prancing across the bleeding stage. You know, I think, no, I'm a bit bored then. You know, I lose interest at that point. You know? I don't mind seeing the ladies sort of dancing as if they've got a piece of chewing gum stuck on the end of their foot. You know, it's very clever. I think that is very skillful. But with ballet dancing, you know, why don't they have higher, taller dancers? Why do they have to stand on their toes? If they had taller dancers, they wouldn't have to stand on their toes, would they? I mean, that's logical. No, I'm only joking. And yeah, there's all these sort of different things like that. But no, I can't understand dancing. If somebody can explain to me what dancing is supposed to be natural, not with me. Anyway, on with the show. I digress here. Now, says here, evening, Louise. We're doing okay. Talk about change in the weather today. Yes, I got a bit wet walking back because I actually walked down to Tesco's today because I needed some exercise. It was too windy to cycle. I didn't. It's too short to really go by car. I mean, it's 40 minutes walk. It's a couple of miles, but the trouble is, now the kids are back at school, you can't bloody park anywhere. It's traffic jam. It's chaos. I might as well walk it. So I walked it, and crumbs alive. It was really icy cold, really cold, even though the sun was out. Now we've got here. What's this? Evening, William. Enjoying going through the back catalogue on your channel. Good stuff, my friend. Yes, there we go. Yeah, we got here. Glad to hear it, Crystal Garner. It's funny how the sun has disappeared with the paying tourists. Not man-made weather, of course. Yes, yes. Oh, they're chem spraying every morning. Um, I'm finding most mornings I wake up and it's a nice blue sky. Well, I get up quite early actually. I'm sort of crack of dawn sort of person. I've always been up early, and it's a kind of overcast in the morning. Then the blue sky starts, and you see all the chem lines going everywhere. They're going absolutely doolally. And then about lunchtime, it starts to wee wee with rain. It was a bit early today. Wee wee with rain about 10 o'clock. So there was it. Now we've got here Crystal Gardner. Evening, Cat Holly. She's getting better. This is Jess. Thank you. She had a checkup at the hospital today. All okay. We get the biopsy results next week. Let's keep our fingers crossed and let's have, whilst we're at it, now I've just put that there. Why don't we have a healing moment for Jess? So, just as a bit Tom and Dick. So let's do a healing thing. And here we go. In a minute now. Should start. Come on. Oh, just be nice and still. Nice, calm thoughts. Oh, voila. See, so she'll feel a lot better now. And I'm trying to put together a healing show where we will be doing healing on the show. Now, how it will be done, I don't know at this stage. I'm hoping to drag Miles in, kicking and screaming, and Dawn as well. Hoping to get her along. And if there's anybody else, don't get them involved. It might be on this radio show that I'm playing. But the trouble is that will be recorded, and we need to do the healing things live. So these are the things I'm thinking about. I've got loads of ideas I'm buzzing with, so exciting, eh? Now, Krista Gardner says, there were a lot of chemtrails over the weekend, Louise. I'm not surprised we had such changeable weather today. Yeah, but Chris, when it bloody cold, it got right through your bones. It really did. I just do not do cold. I don't know what it is. I just can't stand cold weather. Loathe it, Now we've got here camera. We are non-stop with it. Cannot imagine exactly what we are all breathing in again. Yes. And I've actually found that when I go out now, I mean, all right, I've got a little bit of hay fever on me because of the pollens play up. It shouldn't really be. This is the weird thing. When it rains, it keeps the pollen low. But I feel it is quite high, actually. I don't know why. It's strange. It might be the wind that's blowing it around because it's been pretty windy today. I think that might be it. There it says here. Yes, that's right. It's Robert Stew, 99. There it says here. Can be good for us, Louise, whatever it is. Sorry, it can't be good for us, whatever it is. It says a lot that even royal estates are not immune to it. Perhaps it doesn't affect them like us humans. That's right. It's but everything's late this year. I mean, oh, by the way, Chris, my tomato seedlings, I planted them 3 weeks ago, and they're just coming up now. 3 weeks ago, they've been germinating for 3 weeks. Normally they're up within about a week. God knows what's going on now. And we got here, Krista Gardner, the chemtrails seem to be getting worse. That's right. I've noticed that. This is Rabbit Stew saying this. Rabbit Stew 99. Get up to walk the dog and clear blue sky, sun shining. Then within a couple of hours, just gets grey. Today been crazy. That's right. That's right. And it seems to be they're controlling it in a certain way. I know they're doing it to wipe out farmers. I'm positive they're doing it because everything's so waterlogged. It really is. Now it says here, I've seen Riverdance. Everything is great until, that's right, Michael Flatulence in the finale. Yes. Yes. I do wish they get the chewing gum off their shoes though. For the yeah. But no, that is clever. I can watch that. I mean, that is precision. I really admire them. I mean, I admire people that can do things that I can't do. I mean, I can't dance, I can't sing, I can't play a musical instrument. And I really admire it when I see these people who are brilliant at what they do, because they make it look easy when it isn't easy. But I think everybody has got a skill at something. I really do believe that. You know, apart from politicians, well, I don't know, they're skillful at bullshitting, aren't they? I mean, when you think about it, there's not many people who can bullshit like politicians can. So there we go. You know, that now David Yates done a book called Geoengineering, patently patented. It tells us a hell of a lot of what is being sprayed over us. Yes, barium, aluminium, cool, bloody hell, you name it, we've got it, you know. And here we are. Hey, we've got camera sound, sending just healing thoughts and loads of love. Yep, that's what we're doing. You know, so let's hope those healing thoughts go through. Now, here we go. Now we've got here, rabbit stew. They were spraying the hell out of us all week. Yes, got it here as well. White lines crisscrossing the sky. And when you get that sort of overcast afterwards, that really is depressing. I find that awful, you know. Southampton yesterday, crisscross all over the place. Yes, yes. It's like noughts and crosses, isn't it, in the sky? Now, it was cold today, Mr. Von Essex. Oh, Von Essex now. I spent the morning indoors planting seeds, pissing it down here all morning. Yes, yes. I mean, my greenhouse is pretty full up now. But have you ever known, Chris, 3 weeks to germinate? I was going to chuck them out. 3 weeks. They're just coming up. You know, it's. But my apple tree, the blossom on it is, it's gorgeous. I've never seen it blossom so well. I've got a miniature apple tree, and the apples are absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what variety they are, but they're very, very, very nice. Now, camera. They are keeping it cold because it suits their climate bullshit, and to their huge computers needed for data storage must be kept cold. Yes, yes. Well, it's like that leaflet that I got from that political party. Was it a week or two? Yeah, last week it was. It wasn't a questionnaire. It was questions for them to get the answer that they already want. You know, because you can't answer questions on it. You just got to have this. It's all parallel lines. You know, if you get what I mean. It says here, they're wankers, aren't they, Hatchy? Yes, I'd agree with that. Yes, yes. Now it says here, we had crazy hail here on an all day in Northamptonshire. 1 minute sun, next day hail. Oh. Now, come on, own up. Who's old enough to remember that show, Hal? Oh, yes. But now, now this brings me on to the next part of the show, which is about the South African. I can do the South African accent. It's a bit easier. It's a bit sort of flat, isn't it? And his name was Nicholas von Reinsberg. Has anybody ever heard of Nicholas von Reinsberg? Mind you, that sounds a bit like the people we don't allow to criticise, doesn't it? That sounds a bit but no. Anyway, Nicholas van Reinsberg was born in 1864 and he croaked it in 1926. And he was a bit like Edgar Cayce, although Edgar Cayce was more to do with, he was psychic, but Edgar Cayce cured people because he's like a psychic, what would you call it? Doctor in many ways, even though he had no qualifications in medicine or anything like that. But Nicholas von Reinsberg, his predictions were frighteningly accurate, incredibly accurate. And there's a group of people called the Sandlanders. Got that in South Africa as well. They're Boers. They're South African. I mean, people say that I'm a Boer, but I don't think they mean it by they look at that boring kid. No, but a Boer, as in Boer War, and they are a group that prepare for emergencies and things. And the chap that runs it, he is very much into Nicholas von Reinsberg, or Van Reinsberg, that's it. Now, this Nicholas van Reinsberg, he made a prediction that, now remember this was in the 1920s, early 20s, that a black man will be running South Africa within, I can't remember how many years he said. Of course, look, we had Nelson Mandela. Now I can't take off Nelson Mandela. And of course, we got the Nelson Mandela effect, or the dead Mandela effect. And also, he predicted Donald Trump. He said there will be a black American president, and then there will be a president with a quiff. Of course, Donald Trump has a quiff. He has hair. He has the most amazing hair, doesn't he? But as I say, I believe that anybody that goes in to become a president, they're just cheeks the same arse. It just depends on what pantomime you want. Anyway, he predicted, and this is Nicholas von Reinsberg, he predicted that, what do you think? Not bad, South African. The South Africans think I could speak with, was it Afrikaans? Because I told you about a bloke I used to work with. He came from Rhodesia, and he spoke a bit like that. And there was something about his accent that there's a couple of us. It hit our funny bone. I don't know why. Have you ever had something that's not funny, but it just hits your funny bone? And there was a woman once that said that when Les Dawson said the word flannel, she collapsed with laughter. And he went, he was on this show, and he went, flannel, and she just couldn't stop laughing. This bloke, whenever he said things like hippo, the rhino, and bicycle, just absolutely peed ourselves laughing. Don't know why. Anyway, what was I going to say now? Nicholas von Reinsberg said that World War III will begin when Russia invades Turkey and goes through Turkey. That's what he said. And America will destroy Great Britain, because Great Britain will be very deceitful to the Americans. The Americans will wipe Britain off the map. So it's not something nice to look forward to, isn't it? But have you noticed all these predictions are doom and gloom, aren't they? Don't they ever do a prediction which is happy? Like, for example, well, let's think of a nice prediction. They make a scientific breakthrough where through all these towers that they got, they give everybody a massive orgasm as they're walking along. Something like that. Oh. That could be very dangerous, couldn't it? Bloke driving a bus. Oh, oh. Everybody would like to come on my journey. Anyway, no, but wouldn't it be nice if we had nice things like, for example, we look into the future and find that they find a fuel to power vehicles that will cost twopence a gallon, and it's so cheap they don't know what to do with it, and petrol cars will be able to run on it, and diesel cars will be able to run on it without any conversion of their engines whatsoever. That'd be nice, something nice. And there's no pollution it gives off as well. Yeah, it's called hydrogen, but no, the hydrogen needs to have a converted engine or a different engine. But no, when you think about it, people very rarely predict good things. It's always, whoa, terrible things are going to happen. Now we got going back here. We got Hatchy, Chris Sagana. We're in troubled times, mate. I take the proverbial I'm sure the Green Cross Code Man and Darth Vader fly a jumbo. Yes, you never know. But tell you what got me about the Green Cross Code Man. Why did they pick a hedgehog to install in children road safety? I mean, let's face it, hedgehogs have not exactly got a good track record when it comes to road safety, have they? I mean, why have a hedgehog out of all the creatures to promote road safety? You know, was it Tufty? Was it? That was Tufty. I don't know what the hedgehog was called. Anybody? Yeah, but it's because I think the Green Cross Code Man recently snuffed it, didn't he? Now we've got loads of blossom on our apple tree. Regarding the tomatoes, they can take a bit longer sometimes. Yes, they say you've got to give them love and kindness. I do the opposite way. I say, grow, you bastards, because the compost heap's over there. And if you don't grow, you know where you're going to end up. So it sort of gives them an insight. No, actually, I love all my plants, all full of love and peace, like peace all over the place, Come into my garden, sometimes I have peace up the apple tree, and I might have peace up the... Yes, there's a right piece out there. Right. Angela Dempsey. Hello, Angela. Full of heavy metals. Chemtrails have been banned in some states. Yes. What state was it now? Oh, bugger. I can't remember. Was it Arizona? I could be wrong. I think it's Arizona where it's been banned. In the US. Nothing said on news in this country. Well, the news isn't the news, is it? Chems are killing plant life, animals, insects, but they are saving the planet. Yep. And also I've noticed that bees, apparently there's no indigenous bees left in this country. They're all immigrants. Bees used to be little tiny little fellas about that big. Now they're bloody great things. About the size of a tuppenny pence piece, I had one leg land on my trouser leg, not big bee, a small one the other day. And but I've actually got some fake wasps' nests up on my sheds so that it stops wasps going into them, because I saw a couple flying around the door the other day. Now, Fred Dinage, that was it, and Bunty Johnson, great in the countryside together. That's right, I remember that. That's Hal, wasn't it? Fred Dinage, Jack Hargreaves, and Bunty Johnson, great in the. And do you remember Vision On? It was for deaf children, and the lady got the job by sheer accident, because apparently she was a secretary in the BBC, as the story goes. And when they were starting the show, they could not find anybody who could do signing, which is, for deaf people, they do sign language. And she said she could do it. I went, eh? And she was just an ordinary secretary. And then she said, yeah, she said, I can sign. I don't know whether her parents were deaf or something like that. And that's how she got the job. She was very attractive. And she, I used to like the songs in that. Nice it was. Yes, there seemed to be a lot of deaf children in those days. I don't know why. Now, Hatchie, I live in my own reality and by my own rules. Spot on there, mate. I try and keep my head down, but I think you could be right. Proper, what's named up, like the Germans. Yes. But actually, near where you live, Chris, there's a German cemetery. I bet you're not aware of. Because there was a plane that came down near your village, and they buried the Germans in this cemetery, and you can still visit their graves. So yes. Now, Tufty. That's it. I ready to get folks. It was Tufty. Let's say, why have a squirrel and a hedgehog promoting road safety? They are two animals which are about the worst with road safety you could ever wish to have. Yes. Now, Camera says the kings of chaos are hardly going to predict their loss and love winning. They don't want people believing that. They want everyone living in fear of death from one source or another. Well, that's right. I mean, look at the news with the Middle East. I don't believe half of it, not a fraction of it. It's not news, it's a pantomime. It's what one side, all we get is a one side view of the news. Even on the internet, it's always from the people or the country we're not allowed to criticize, but it's never more balanced. Um, that's huge. I personally don't think there's anything to worry about. Honestly, people say, "Oh, it's well born, Frank, well." No, I don't think so. I really don't. I think it's just one big pantomime, and it all sounds good. It's to keep people in fear all the time. So um, and Chris the Gardener says, "Good point about the hedgehog, Chris. I never understood that. Why didn't they use an elephant? You never see an elephant flat on the road, do you? It's spot on. See, it's a very strange things, and laugh my ass off, Tufty Squirrel, pew pew, Barney Magoo, Cuthbert Dibble and Grub, Magic Roundabout up next. Yes, yes. Well, a neighbour where we used to live when I was a kid was built. You know was it Hattie Town? He built all the little houses and things for it. He was a very clever bloke, and he actually did the houses for the for Hattie Town. So that's my claim to fame. I lived near the bloke who made the houses for Hattie Town. See, so and but the Magic Roundabout was French, wasn't it? You know, um, there's a theory that the people that did the Magic Roundabout were pissed out of their brains on some magic plant. So I don't know how true it is, but they reckon that the bloke who wrote the scripts was pissed. So who knows? Now, everyone says, can you threaten a plant with compost heat? Cameron's camera. Can you threaten a plant with the compost heat? Because it wouldn't like to be threatening a child with sweets misbehaving. Ah, good point. Good point. Yes, yes, yes. But well, I haven't threatened Freddie, have I? I mean, look, Fred's been sitting there waiting to get a word in edgeways all bloody evening. Not a word from him. Louis Wilcox says nothing like horse poo for the garden. Yes, but let it sit for about a year and it should be all right. And also, it stops unwanted visitors coming to your garden and smell of all shit, on a hot summer's day. You told me about the cemetery, Chris, but well reminded. I'll try and find out where it is and have a look. Yes, it is up there. And what gets me is the ages of the kids who got killed. 2023. I mean, there's a place, the road near where I live called Lieutenant Ellis Way. And Lieutenant Ellis apparently was in a bomber, American bomber. He was American during World War II. And he stayed with the plane to save it. Actually, it was badly shot up, and he steered it away from a school, and he got killed along with a lot of his crew members. And when you look at their ages, it's really I'm pleased to say they've got a memorial, which is quite choking. But when you see 19, 23, and 20 and 22, they're kids. They've had no life, and this is what gets me about wars. Old men sending young men to their deaths. And I can almost guarantee that if things do hot up, which I don't think they will, they'll have an outrage. So young kids will be fighting over each other to go to the army recruiting offices. I can guarantee it. This was what happened in the First World War. Not so much in the Second World War, but it does happen, because the big problem is that the Rothschilds and the money people, the banksters, are genius at manipulating people. They really are. That's how they've actually got away with it all these years, the usury scam. Because what other family could have got away with bankrupting the entire country, as the Rothschilds did after the Battle of Waterloo, and just get away with it. And how do they get away with it? Because they own the press. That's it. But that's another question. And then when you think they own the press, then you got to think, well, what news are we getting? Think about that. So people say, oh yes, it was on such and it's on CNN, it was on BBC. Yeah. Who's behind? Who pays the money? Well, but all right, the BBC is license funded, but then you got to think of the, shall we say, the senior brass are puppets to the money people, and it's not us. Jack Hargreaves, Angela Dempsey. Jack Hargreaves is. Wait a minute. He's back on TV. Well, blimey, must be a bit whiffy by now. Have they dug him up because he died a few years back, didn't he? I mean, yeah. Hello, Jack. Is there life after death? I don't think there's anything coming out of him. Why, they sort of stuffed him or something, or out of town on Channel 82, talking pictures. Yeah, I'm joking. Yes, it's also on YouTube. Out of town. He was a bit boring, but Jack Hargreaves, you think he was a countryman through and through. Not true. He was actually born in North London. He wasn't born in the country at all. Seriously. You look it up on Wikipedia. That's if it's true on Wikipedia. He was born in North London. And my sister had a boyfriend who was a trout fisherman. And there's a picture of my sister holding a trout, you see. I was the annoying little snotty-nosed kid, you know, in those days, like I am now. And he said that he went to, he had a thing about Norwich canaries. He was a collector of canaries. Strange hobby, isn't it? So, you know, he was really into his canaries. He knew his Norwich canaries. And he used to go to conventions. I'm not sure if it was for the trout fishing or whether it was for the Norwich canaries, one of the two. And Jack Hargreaves was there, and he reckons that Jack Hargreaves could actually demolish a mill in no time at all. He was a very fast eater. So that's something, little bit of the general knowledge that. So next time you're at a social event, you could say, excuse me, did you know that the late Jack Hargreaves was a ferocious eater, could eat very fast? See? Right, so there we go. And now what have we got here? Camera, had you quite right. Put it on in the winter and dig it in the spring. What's that? That's horse manure. That's right. Now it says Windy Miller. It must have been the sprouts he had. Another one that can't get by without flatulence. I used to like the way they walked. Was it Hattie Town? I can't remember. I think it was Hattie Town. I don't know, one of those. But I used to like the guitar. But my favourite program was what was that one with the hamsters and mice? Something about what was it now? Apparently it's a Canadian one. Tales of the Riverbank. My favourite show. Tales of the Riverbank. Loved it. And the other one was Robinson Crusoe, which they're not allowed to show now, which I'm very upset. It was actually filmed in France. And just the Germans acted the part. Yes. Yeah, it says it. Allegedly, those who made the magic roundabout were high with Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Yes, that's right. Apparently they were. out their bleeding brains on it, I think. But Louise, I think that is true. A lot of kids programs, yes. But wasn't it innocent in those days? You know, sort of nice. Krista Gardner, they have got to have some excuse for some of the crazy shit they make for kids nowadays. Yes, I'm glad I grew up in a time when things were a bit more sort of, say, placid and easygoing. I remember making things, looking at Blue Peter and making things out of bits of cardboard and shit and things. It's true, Hachi, they put back Greaves back on, laugh out loud. Another actor, laugh my arse off. Yes. I mean, how does he feel now they've dug him up? Has he deteriorated a bit? Yes. Now, the things I've seen on acid, Louise, Chris the Ardner, I could tell you some stories. We even invented a new colour once, dentist pink, if you're interested. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. They in Germany, apparently, if you go and see the quack there, they give you a colour test, or they used to, so I heard. If anybody in Germany is about to back me up on this, and apparently by what colours you choose, it shows you what kind of state of mind you're in and that. And as you know, I don't know. I haven't seen my sister for 14 years. I don't have anything more to do with them. And she married a chap that had a very peculiar full stop, allegedly. And where I kind of like blues and reds and sort of happy sort of colours, turquoise, but blue is really nice. I like any colour really. They liked mauve and grey, and I went to see them one day, and they're painting their house grey, and I said, their house door grey, and I said, it's an interesting undercoat. What's the top coat going to be? She said, this is the undercoat. You're being funny, yeah. It was battleship grey. I kid you not. Not black, but battleship grey. You know, the cat. Oh, bloody hell. Rabbit Stew 99. Speaking of black leaders, look who is the leader of Scotland, Wales, and England now. 3 black leaders, not insinuating anything about it, but when 4% of the UK population is black, that stands out. Well, let's face it, I do not believe that anybody is democratically elected. I really don't. It's a joke. To me, democracy is just mob rule. I mean, you can't tell me that Pierre Trudeau, is it Pierre Trudeau? Or Justin Trudeau has been honestly elected into Canada. Come on, who bloody hell want him? I reckon Jack Hargreaves, Hachi, knew more about horses and trout than Attenborough knew about the blue planet. I agree with you. I can't stand bloody Attenborough. Yes, because he always speaks like this, as if everything. I don't know. Just can't stand the bastard. Just don't like him. Mind you should have heard what he said about me, but there we go. So it's a fair observation, Rabbit Stew. Some with news presenters on television. Yes, very much so. Yes. Now we got now. Battleship grey is all the rage these days, Chris. I see it a lot. Doors, fences, sheds. Yeah, this was a few years back though. Yeah, miserable. But yeah, I don't know. I used to like silver. My cars were silver, but then I went into a sort of a red stage. Now both my cars are red. I don't know why. But I'm going back to a silver. I wouldn't mind a silver car again. I kind of like it. The only colour car I won't have is black, because it's very, very difficult to touch up the paint. Seriously, black is one of the most difficult colours to actually touch up, because although it's black, it's not really a colour as such. There's different shades of it, and they reckon that it is difficult. Or white. a white car. I will not have a white car. It looks dirty. I want a car the colour of dirt, so I'd have to wash it. Now, actually, my smart car's red and black, and my Toyota's red, and it doesn't show the red, doesn't show the dirt so much, But I might go back to silver. I do like silver, actually. Yes. I'm going to paint one of my bikes silver. My bike was silver, and I painted it red, and I'm going back to silver again. See, so you have your, like the artist, you have your red period, and then your silver period, and then you go into depressive period, and God knows what. Anyway, Van Gogh, he was into that, wasn't he? Sorry, I read that one. My granddad had a garage wall filled with breeding rabbits, or breeding things. In the Second World War, my German lady friend has 6 guinea pigs. Well, they eat guinea pigs in South America. I've a shed and offered to make cages. Apparently, they're good eating. Yes. I think that's what the word guinea pig stands for, good eating. But they're I mean, my friend Tora, she used to. She was a sort of a leading authority on guinea pigs, and they're very high maintenance guinea pigs. They seem to have a lot of ailments. I don't know quite why, but they do. But I like animals with low maintenance, like cats. But I haven't got any animals apart from was Boris the spider that's behind Fred the plant. So you got Boris over there. He hasn't come out yet. Now says Louise, it was definitely a ride. I wouldn't want to do it again, but no regrets. Made me who I am. Yes, all experiences in life, bad ones and good ones, build wisdom. So there we go. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the show. I'd like to thank everybody in chat being there. It's very kind. Next week we've got the bowler hat farmer coming on. And then the week after, hang on, because he's just confirmed, I think what we got here. Robert is, I'm just looking through my book here. That's it. It'll be the 22nd. And then the week after, we've got Robert coming on. He's confirmed he's coming on April the 29th. And in between, where I'm doing recordings and that, John Hamer is, at the moment, he's on a talking tour. He was on Jeff Buys Cars. And I'm thinking of starting one called Eric Buys Rex. Sorry, joking. But what's this camera? Now, the communist grey is everywhere. Cars that have that look of undercoat with no top coat. Fences all look dingy. My neighbours have a small brick wall and a fence, all the horrid grey colour. Yuck! I don't like grey. No. And we used to have guinea pigs. Would you put them between 2 loaves of bread? Do you? Or how'd you cook them? No, I'm joking. That's sick. They are quite jolly little chaps, but definitely high maintenance. Yeah, they are very high maintenance. They get all growths and lumps and they're always ill. And she was really good at looking after them. She really knew her stuff. But unfortunately, that's what it is. She got the best food for them. She spent pounds on the guinea pigs. But I think with rodents, I'd have a hamster probably. But they don't only live there a couple of years, But a pussycat is probably better. I like pussycats, But then remember the old Chinese saying: you have dogs. A dog is not just for Christmas. With care, there can be some left over for sandwiches in the new year. So you just got to bear those things in mind. So anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up, including me with an itchy nose. And we've got the radio show coming up. John Hamer, I've been in touch with him. He's going to do a show soon when he comes back off of his tour. There's also I've been talking to Miles about shows, and quite a lot in the pipeline. Hang on, what we got here? We've got Chris says here, dogs rule, Chris. Best companion you could wish for. What, are they better than Fred the plant? Oh, come on, you hurt his feelings now. What's this? Kids TV. I have a 3-year-old. Have you seen Peppa Pig? No. Dad is useless and all the women are the heroes. Ben and Holly, some King and Mal. Yes, I've heard of that. Yes, I think Richard D. Hall was talking something about that. And by the way, what's happened with Richard D. Hall? I haven't heard much about him. You know, I hope he's okay. Now it says it. Good night all. Take care. On camera. Krista Garner. We'll be thinking of you and Jess. Stay strong. Keep fighting fit and loving. Keep loving and keep smiling. Night all. Thanks. And everyone in chat. Yes, I second that. And it's got life. That's life, but not as we know it. Cats are the best. Yes, I like pussy cats. That's right. But, you know. Oh, we got Pandora in. Pandora Chaser 2. Evening, Chris, Sally, and all. Late in and hope you are all well. Well, we're just ending. Oops, sorry, mate. Anyway, now it says here, cats carry a parasite that keeps the human doing what the cat wants. Dogs are far more loyal. Yeah, but politicians are parasites. Yeah, they are loyal. Yeah, dogs are loyal. Yes, that's the thing, you know. But well, my neighbour's dog is madly in love with my leg. I mean, you know, my leg has had to have rape counselling because it's in shock. Now, anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for tonight's show. Thanks for putting up with me for 2 hours. Very kind of you. And to say, next week we've got bowler hat farmer, and then we've got Robert coming back, and Chris will be on soon as well, Chris the gardener, and a lot more. So we're going to have Fun Pack and Nathan, of course. We're looking at a radio show, and I'm going to have a word with Chris about it as well, and everybody, all the regulars, we're all going to chip in and do a little bit on this radio show. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. And whilst I'm waffling here, I'm trying to find the what's the name? Where is it? There it is. Outro. Thank you very much for joining us. And YouTube allowing, be here same time, same place next week. And remember, whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh and good night.